So we're here today at the Milan Design Week, and we have our INAX exhibition, which is entitled Japan's Rituals of Water. And we're going to take you through a tour now of the booth to show you some of the new products and stand design. It's really important, I think, to start with the rich history we have. More than 100 years old, the brand, starting originally from ceramics and from tiles. And I think a phenomenal story, of course, the relationship between Frank Lloyd Wright and the building of the Imperial Hotel that's given us a really good connection, I think, and a very authentic connection with architecture. And that's a great starting point then to move on to, of course, some of the most advanced technologies in toilets. This is one of the first commercial shower toilets in the world, and the first in Japan. And a product like this, as you'll see as we move through the exhibition, has evolved greatly, but there has to be a breakthrough starting point. And we're very proud that with INAX we have that starting point. Now you can see the transition from here, very, very different to when we look at the new collection, the S600. Here we have a beautiful collection, which again, we've really tried to create an area which is unapologetically beautiful and Japanese. And that's why you see some of these elements coming through with the bonsai, for example, the karasansui, with the rock garden. It's very zen, it's very calming, and I think it highlights beautifully with the selected materials, and our products a really innovative, fresh design proposition. Here we're showing a video which actually describes this concept of the rituals of water and how you can transform your life through using water, how important water is to Japanese culture, but also on a global scale. And here this video has been constructed to really take us through some of those interactions with water. We'll move on now to the products. A really important part of this project, and it's a huge project, was the creation of the reference designs. We've used our DNA and signature elements to create a reference group of products which are very beautiful, very different to anything on the market, and they serve our design teams as a starting point. For this section, this is where we show the design movie and we show elements of the signature elements. We're showing elements, of course, of the brand and the design values across the edge. But this really takes people on that journey. Our philosophy, our way of thinking, how we've adapted all of these amazing cultural elements into a range of products which really exude the new INAX positioning. And here we have another one of our reference ranges that we're very proud of, the S400. You can see the layout is very different to the 600. Here we're looking at the relationship between light and shadow, and you can even see in the environment itself, we've tried to capture that. And they're all there, of course, highlighting our beautiful new products and also the consistency, again, through that brand DNA, through the signature elements, how they sit together with one aesthetic across all the essence. Here we move on to some of the tools which really communicated when we were exploring, let's say, the design concept. We have tools that allowed us to develop communication aspects, and then we could test those out to see if they were elements that we would take across all of the products, across all of the ranges. And here we can see them here. Here we can see through the tension and the scroval and the volcano, those exact elements that now you see on the products that I've just showed you with the S600 and the S400. With the brand values, essence and sophistication and thoughtfulness, we have images on the wall which really describe what do we mean by essence. So the INAX definition of essence we have is functional. It's about purity, about honesty, and about quality of the materials and how they manifest themselves. And you can see the consistency of all of these products that are coming through and how these simple three values are linking them together. It's creating this essence. And then I think beautifully, I think, and quite poetically, we end up in this section where we're showing the tiles. And I don't think anybody's expected or ever seen tiles shown in this way before. We're really proud how this has, I think, taken something that people understand has an intrinsic quality and a beauty, but showing it in a completely unique way, I think again that really exudes the cultural essence of this Japanese brand INAX. And here you can see we represent them in different aspects. We represent them in the boxes. We represent them in these very simply designed, they're almost like menus that just show the collaboration of the different materials, textures and glazes all coming together. And I think what's quite beautiful behind us with all the colors, you start to see how many variants, how much depth we have in our collections. And like I said, if I take any of these, really simple boxes, we've constructed these to show, of course, the INAX brand, to show very simply our signature elements, the volcano, the scroval and tension. And then inside every single box is a beautiful sample of the tiles. So it's a very interactive, I think, and engaging way to show the beauty of the tiles that we have within the INAX brand. It's really important to us. So on the stand, you'll see, we've even taken care of one of the sensorial elements of the brand. And here we even have these atomizers, vaporizers, which are pushing a scent out that really promotes this concept of well-being. And of course, the INAX claim of live well. The scent is really important. It helps with the brand experience. A bit like we've used Japanese cypress trees with the wood, and it has a distinct scent, and it really transforms you. You're in Milan today, but there's an essence of Japan even through the scent and the smell. Coming to the final section. So what we want to do with our Serafine ceramics, we took some inspiration from across Japan. Japan, of course, has so many rich sources of water. And we wanted to, let's say, from north to south, really explore some of those regions and areas where water is so important, but also where water is so diverse, and bring in some of those aspects of the water, through color. Everything from, let's say, the pure, clean white, all the way down through to the icy blues, and even at the bottom we look at blossom in some of the prints on the Serafine ceramics. I hope we've been able to demonstrate and show you, let's say, how thoughtful the entire exhibition is, how we're really trying to communicate clearly and concisely the positioning of INAX and all the beautiful technology in a very unique aesthetic. Thanks very much for sharing the tour.